Chapter 2: Desperation and Survival. We needed to get out of Nairobi. Standing on the precipice of despair, the chaotic streets of Nairobi unfolded before us, each alley echoing with our desperation to escape. The city, once a beacon of hope, had revealed its true face, a labyrinth of danger where each step could lead to salvation or peril. This is the crucible in which our resolve was tested, where our dreams of a better life were pitted against the reality of human cruelty and indifference. Our journey from the dusty streets of Nairobi to the perilous deserts of Sahara was not merely a geographical shift, but a descent into the depths of our own fears and hopes. This is our story, a testament to our survival, our fight against the odds, and our unyielding hope for a brighter future. It was the third year since our painful farewell to our beloved village, the third year since we became reluctant residents of Nairobi's teeming slum, Kibera. As I woke up each morning to the discordant symphony of the city, I often found myself yearning for the soothing melodies of our farm, the cooing of the doves, the rustling of the maize leaves in the breeze, the soft murmur of the river. Yet amidst the cacophony, the scent of burning jiko stoves and the clamor of awakening lives, Kamau and I found our rhythm, our harmony. In the harsh landscape of Kibera, dreams were a luxury we could barely afford. Yet every night, as we huddled together in our cramped shack, we allowed ourselves to dream. Dreams of verdant fields under the open sky, of the sun warming our backs as we worked the land, of laughter-filled meals under the shade of our mango tree. Our dreams were echoes of a life we once had, a life we yearned for with every fiber of our being. Life in Nairobi was a relentless, unending struggle, but amidst the scarcity and conflict, our bond only strengthened. Kamau became my anchor, my safe haven in the storm. Despite his own battles, he always found a way to soothe my worries, to ignite a flicker of hope in the bleakness. Each night, as we shared our meager meal, he'd reach across and squeeze my hand, his eyes echoing a silent promise. A promise that we'd get through this, that our love would see us through. His strength became my strength, his resilience my motivation. In the sea of nameless, struggling faces, we became each other's identity. Kamau was no longer just a laborer, bending under the weight of his load, and I was not just a domestic help, my hands raw and chapped from ceaseless scrubbing. We were Amina and Kamau, a couple forged and united by love, battling the onslaught of life's harshest realities. Our struggles were many, the odds stacked against us. Yet, we found joy in the simplest things. A moment of shared laughter when a monkey stole a vendor's banana, the warm satisfaction of a full stomach after a day of toil, the soothing melodies Kamau coaxed out of his nyatiti after a particularly hard day. Our love story was no longer simple, but it was ours, and it was real. It was a love not just of stolen kisses and shared dreams, but of shared pain and relentless hope. Food and water were scarce, the lines seemingly endless. Often we would stand for hours only to be met with the disappointing news of stocks running out. Conflict was a constant companion, the desperation making people ruthless, compassion a forgotten concept. Yet, even in these testing times, we found ways to support each other. Kamau would often give up his share of water for me, his lips parched, but his eyes filled with determination, and I would save him the larger portion of our meal, my stomach growling, but my heart content. We clung to each other in this ruthless world, our love the only thing that hadn't been tainted by the grim reality of our existence. Despite the weight of our trials, we dared to hope, to dream of better days. Our dreams were our escape, our refuge from the harsh reality that each dawn brought. As we journeyed through the trials of our third year in Nairobi, we held on to the echoes of our lost dreams, fueling our hope for a better tomorrow. The memories of our life under the African sun became a beacon, guiding us through the maze of slum alleyways, the mounds of uncollected garbage, the long queues for water and food. We found strength in our shared past, our love, and our dreams. They were our lifeline, our shared secret, a balm to our weary souls. But even as we navigated the challenges of city life, another reality was taking shape. A reality that would pull us from Nairobi's iron grasp and cast us into an even more uncertain future. As the echo of our dreams filled our sleep-filled nights, we were blissfully unaware of the storms that were brewing, of the journey that still lay ahead. The world had more trials in store for us, trials that would test our resolve, our love, and our very survival. As our 4th year in Nairobi drew to a close, a chilling sense of desperation began to consume us. We realized that the city had nothing more to offer us but unending strife and despair. We saw our dreams of returning to our farm gradually evaporate, replaced by a stark reality that was far from what we had ever envisioned. Hope was a dim light at the end of a seemingly infinite tunnel. It was a casual conversation that sparked the seed of an audacious idea. I had heard tales from other maids in the houses I worked, stories of families who had left Kenya, braved treacherous journeys across continents, and found better lives in Europe. At first, it seemed unthinkable. But as we weighed our dwindling options, the unthinkable gradually became our only choice. Our dreams shifted from fields of maize to foreign lands of opportunity. This was our leap into the unknown. A gamble with our very lives, but one we saw no alternative to. Once the decision was made, things moved quickly. Using all our savings and selling off what few possessions we had, we contacted a man known only as Django. He was a shadowy figure, a human trafficker who promised passage to Europe. The moment we handed over our money to him, we felt a sense of foreboding. There was a cruelty in his eyes that made my heart pound in fear. But by then, there was no turning back. We were swept into a torrent we had no control over. Django was as ruthless as the tales described. We, along with other desperate families and individuals, were herded like cattle into a decrepit truck, the air heavy with fear and uncertainty. The journey through Kenya and into Ethiopia was grueling. We were packed so tightly that it was hard to breathe, let alone move. The truck jostled on uneven roads, its harsh metal confines offering no respite. We could only imagine the world outside through the thin slits of the truck's hold, a world we were leaving behind. In Ethiopia, we were handed over to another set of traffickers, even more ruthless than Django. They led us on a perilous trek across the arid expanse of the Sahara. The desert was relentless, its heat unbearable, the nights chilling. Many collapsed from exhaustion and dehydration, left behind to an inevitable fate. Yet we kept going, spurred by a glimmer of hope, a promise of a better life. We found ourselves clinging to each other, our bodies exhausted, but our spirits unwilling to break. We shared the last drops of our water, rationed our food, whispered words of comfort and love to keep each other sane amidst the horror that unfolded around us. Each step forward was a step away from the life we had known, yet a step back was impossible. When we finally reached Libya, we thought the worst was behind us. We were so wrong. The smugglers herded us into a dilapidated warehouse, our prison, until we were smuggled into a boat to cross the Mediterranean. The conditions were abhorrent, filth everywhere, scarce food, barely any water, and a constant undercurrent of violence. Women were particularly vulnerable, and I shudder to recall the horrifying incidents I had to endure. The boat journey was the most terrifying ordeal. We were packed onto an inflatable raft, barely able to float, let alone sail across the tumultuous Mediterranean. As we set sail under the cover of night, we were leaving behind a continent we called home, heading into the vast unknown. As we floated in the pitch-black night, the boat rocking dangerously with each wave, we huddled together, our bodies trembling from cold and fear. Kamau's arms around me were the only comfort in that harrowing journey. He whispered words of love and promises of better days. Despite the horrors we had endured, and those that were yet to come, His voice was my beacon in the darkness. But with every sunrise and sunset, we drifted further from the world we knew and closer to a future that was uncertain and terrifying. This leap into the unknown had indeed plunged us into a world of horrors we could never have imagined. We were ensnared in a vicious trap, each step forward only leading to more peril. Yet, we could not turn back. Our path was set, our fates sealed. We were caught in a journey that was no longer ours, a journey where we had lost control. But no matter how horrific the path became, we clung to our love, our hope, and the promise of a better life. It was all we had left.
This is chapter 2 of a 6-part short story. The easiest way to watch or listen to the other 5 parts of this story is to either subscribe to the Romance Diaries on YouTube or click on the link in the description below. If you subscribe to the Romance Diaries, you can also enjoy other stories of love, romance, heartache, cheating and betrayal, and by clicking on the notification bell at the same time we can let you know every time we bring out a new video. And if you would like to experience your own real-life romance, why not click on one of our sponsors, which you will also find in the description.